In this episode, you'll get a breakdown of the quote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. 3 things you'll discover today. How your deepest pain becomes your greatest strength. Why avoiding your wounds keeps them infected. And what to do when you're scared to look at what broke. Okay, the quote, it really brings me to the trapdoor spider or nature in general. Because you can kind of zoom in first on the metaphor of what is in the trap door, right? It's a space that I almost correlate to an attic or a basement, right? Maybe when you're a kid, I know for me, I was scared of the dark, and the attic and the basement, right? Those were like dark areas. The trap door, the spider metaphor, is basically that's how it traps its prey. But in energy, in humans, we hide our darkness inside. And the only way for that light to enter you is for you to stay present with your wounds, meaning that you start to observe the micro synchronicities within your psyche. So you're not so obsessed in the content because you realize the content is ever going. What you learn from is bringing this light into the place which previously was occupied by darkness. You open up the attic, the basement, the trap door, and the light starts to flow into you. And that's where the wound in itself, this is usually how it works, but what I want to communicate here is that everyone's wound, everyone's details of the pain is going to be so different in terms of microscopic differentiations. The trouble is that most humans live in just microscopic light, never zooming out and taking on a bird's eye perspective to see, okay, I can observe what I am. So am I the thinking or am I the observer? I'm both. You are both. And fundamentally, it's like the observer acts in a manner where it helps you show up. So you make your life easier, just to put it simply. One metaphor I like is, all right, silly ego creates fires. Wise ego prevents the fires from being created, therefore doesn't have to use the energy that would otherwise be wasted putting out the fires. You know, the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry isn't operating correctly right now because we work on a symptom basis. But as humans change and as we are integrating spirit and consciousness is tuning in to the game we're playing, then we'll switch to a preventative healthcare system. Our education systems will also be revitalized. We'll start to see, okay, understanding the structure of what a human being is so much more important than the content of what we can do via thought, which is of a limited nature, of an egotistical nature. So when we go back to that quote, you do this work, this alchemy, to understand, all right, wow, I feel so much, but I can have awareness around what I feel. So then what I feel doesn't consume me. And when you live aware of what you are, then it's almost as if your pH, your potency, your energy, your vibration, it changes. The reason that is so important is because that's what humanity needs. If you look at our world, we live in quite an insane world, but that doesn't mean we have to stay insane. So I'm going to put some chapstick on 1 second. And the direct pathway to humanity creating a beautiful sanity for everyone to feel and for love to go around genuinely, it starts with this relationship to your own wounds. That's the starting point. When you're not projecting your own falsity onto the world, then everything within and outside starts to work for you. It's not that life is effortless, but it almost is getting easier, right? It gets easier because you used to be so busy putting out all those fires that you created, and now you're watching other people put out the fires they created. And that is something that you are challenged by as you step. It's as if your lens is ever changing to a degree where even though the light enters you, there are now bigger fish to fry. So it's not like you're so absorbed in yourself anymore, but simultaneously your consciousness still knows that there's much to do. Much to do in a balanced manner, where it's such a different cadence and rhythm and beat than working as a hamster wheel manner or a headless chicken manner. So let's unravel the relationship between how your deepest pain invigorates your greatest strength. And it's that process of understanding how to observe. When you have a trapped wound creating darkness, you observe, you let go. But there's usually many wounds or many triggers, many moments of really in it. Yeah? And as you are moving through life, the opportunities are sometimes so hard to recognize as opportunities because you're so in it. But as you strengthen that muscle of noticing, letting go, and freeing oneself, you start to, and it's almost as if you get experience. But this experience isn't to be confused with the experience that would be lodged in your memory. This is a spirit experience. This is a leveling up of your soul. And when I use the phrase leveling up, there is not measurement in this realm. When you are working with God, when you are surrendering, when life is just the magic is felt so deeply, your sense of self, which you label I or me, is irrelevant. And that is the only way to work without measurement. Or how would I put it? You cannot be free whilst measuring. So, of course, you're going to have to, and that's what I mean, right? Because if you're still in the body, you're still here, you have something to do, you're going to have to measure planning, timing, scheduling. The list goes on, maintenance. But those are your opportunities. Those are your, the triggers, the frictions, the only ifs. You got to change your relationship to that stuff. As your relationship changes, the space shifts. You get something a little new. It starts to guide you. You have a lot to let go of. Still shedding, letting go, getting triggered, learning, being grateful for what is hard to be grateful for. Huh? You do it. You play. You catch yourself. You let go of things in terms of patterns, patterns that you are just clear that they don't serve you. You just stop. That's part of the wildfire metaphor. And then this whole process of your pain is now your strength. I know that took a little bit to get to, but when you're operating, observing, freeing oneself, it is the thing which is hard to appreciate in the moment that is freeing. Without it, you'd be bored. I promise you that. So, now, let me add one thing, and that is, right now, I'm in such a certain weird season where I can feel it, I can taste it. The work is coming. It's paying off. As in, I've just been so committed since being 18 years old to earn financial freedom. And that's been the one thing in my life that is just continuously challenged. And I'm grateful for it. But all at the same time, I feel sometimes I'm so in it. And I guess that is just me sharing the twist of, hey, enjoy the journey. Because once you have what you worked so hard for, you're going to see that it always was the journey. You have gotten things in your life, and if you apply that same, like, maybe you're strong in a certain area and you want to get better in another area. Well, you've done it before. You've felt it. So learn to not be so in this idea of who you think yourself to be. Goals, future. No, here, now. All right? Why avoiding your wounds keeps them infected? It's like part of the thing is you have certain energy. You could call it karma, you could call it emotion, you'd call it circumstances. It all spirals together. The world is not just one off, right? I wouldn't say it's cause and effect. It's deeper than that. It's like everything is working, even if you cannot see that it is affecting one another. So, when you avoid your wounds, then that energy which you waste being caught because you aren't doing the work, then it doesn't get out to the people who may dearly need it. And therefore, your consciousness, your level of pain increases because you have a meaning. There's purpose behind your life. You have a meaning for being. Believe it or don't believe it, but consider it. Your meaning is something that only you can find out. So I choose to talk about the work of finding your meaning. I'm not going to tell you what your meaning is. I'm going to talk about the essence behind what humanity needs. And this has nothing to do with me. It's everything about the work, right? And when you have these wounds, sometimes you rub dirt on your wounds. That's okay. Then you wipe it off when you have time to wipe it off. You don't get the experience of realizing how powerful you are. You don't need perfect nothing. Maybe you will strive, or you will work in a manner to be as perfect as you possibly can, but don't lose the joy of the journey in the seeking of the future. Because you never have the future, you have right now. Yeah, you will have right now, and it may be in the future, but just thinking about the future messes up right now. That's the trap. So the deeper wounds, the infecting of the wounds is psychological action in the manner of being obsessed with the future, the past, or any form of illusion. So structures of illusion, right? Anger, envy, greed, those are a few of just the main ones. And when you hinge yourself on these lower branches of ego identity, you keep yourself infected. But when you observe the patterns of your thinking, then you learn about the nature of who you are. And sometimes it's going to be like, man, I could be better. But doesn't get you better. See, this is why I don't really say I'm going to try. I say, like, I'm going to go do that thing. And if I need help, then I know how to communicate that I need help. I mean, you can test something out, right? So practically, if I want to test out a software, sure, I'm trying a software. But I'm talking about try in the essence of, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have something on your heart that needs to get done, you're not going to try to do that. You're going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. But you better accept that you chose not to do it. And this is where you get the pain of consciousness. If your destiny is to do something, you're going to have a hard life, or you're going to follow your destiny, and your life is going to still feel hard, but it's going to feel right. It's going to feel hard and right rather than hard and hell. There's a big difference there between a righteous carrying of your cross and a miserable running away from your responsibility. So that's what I mean with the avoiding your wounds. When you observe your nature, you have accountability for what you put out into the world, the ripple effects you create. You do everything in your power to simplify your life so that you can perceive clearly, without judgment, without conditioning, just in the moment, raw spirit. You live in that nature, the poison will exit you. You will be stronger than people can comprehend because it's spirit. Now, what to do when you're scared to look at what broke you? Oh, baby, right? Fear can have a strangle on you. It can suffocate. And something that I kind of noticed, fear is excitement without breath. I don't know when I first heard that, but when that went through my mind, it felt like an insight. It felt so powerful. Fear is excitement without breath. So you need to bring presence into that excitement. You see, the thing that you're scared to do is probably exactly what you need to do. And this is where sometimes life is a little tricky, because you have to get good at discerning shallow excitement from meaningful purpose that is just gnawing at you. There's some ideas that are going to get you excited. And then there are going to be anchors that when you feel this thing in your being, in your heart, in your mind, in your gut, you're like, oh, that's heavy. That's a much different fear or energy, this content, excitement of like, yeah, I'll be excited when I get a drift car, okay? You may post some drift videos, maybe. I digress. But what really matters is us carrying our cross and observing what we are, moment by moment, doing the work to have that clarity. It's like there's foundational work, and then there's work once you're at work up in the skyscraper level. Still work. It's just a little different. The essence, though, what's always going to be true is just that your heart has the answers. Question is, can you create the space to hear your heart? That's the question. I care about you a lot. Thank you so much for listening. You know what to do. If you're scared, do what has to happen so that you can look that fear in its eyes. Whatever conversation, whatever physical actions you need to do, could be journaling, walking, running, exercising, working on business, whatever it is. But piece it together. Let it be pieced together. Action and prayer. Combine them, not just one. So honestly, just share it with a friend. Share it with a friend, a family member, someone who you know is like maybe aligning with the deeper nature of life. Thank you so much for listening. Let's go. Have a great day.